You're listening to About You here on The Source 96.1 FM. I'm Simon Neild and my special guest today is Jeanette Preston. Jeanette, welcome back.
Thank you.
So we've been talking about your life as a social worker. You're in Cornwall now. You've got two lovely daughters and your husband with you. And where did you move on from social work then? What happened there? Did you...
Well, I left social work in 97 after 17 years working in that field and having really an incredible journey. I was very proud to be part of Cornwall Social Services team working in child protection. We did some very good work, if that isn't too trite a way of explaining it, but
it's probably a good way to explain it.
It's, there are painful decisions to be made, and obviously it involved a lot of court work and so on, and making hard decisions about children's welfare and so on. And at the time when the Daily Mail and other newspapers were really gunning for social workers, which they so often are, one of the things I feel really strongly about is they're the most misjudged group of people in the world. Pretty much, they do the work that others will not touch.
It's hard work. It's very hard work.
It's incredibly hard work. I had to leave really because I got ill. I actually had migraines, and a lot of people just think that's neurotic older women going through whatever. I don't know. People thought maybe I was stressed because of the work I was doing. I never felt that. I still get them now, and they were undiagnosed. They were atypical migraines. It was a face pain, and then I felt really ill, and it was as if I had flu for about 3 days. I couldn't get up, and it was until it was diagnosed properly and a treatment began. It just brought me to my knees, unfortunately, and I'd go back to work for a couple of days, and then I'd be off for ages afterwards. It was no way to be a social worker. It's letting everybody down. So I left and went then quite some time not working, trying to find a solution to this, because I didn't like being wiped out by this, and I knew there was something could be done. So I ended up finding a tablet that I still have to take quite regularly. I would have migraines 2 or 3 times a week if I weren't taking these tablets, and they enabled me to live a normal life. So hope for anybody out there. Anybody got migraine, please talk to me or go and see your GP, because there are solutions. You don't have to be laid low with it all the time. You really don't.
And you found that tablet yourself, did you?
I had to. I researched and discussed it with the doctors, who were very helpful at the time, but it took a long time to get the one that was right for me.
And so you were off work for a while, really?
Yes, I was. The only time in my life I've had any time off work, so I was off for over a year with that problem. And then I in the meantime, I'd divorced, I'd remarried. My second husband had died suddenly. I had no money at that stage because sadly I married a con man. That was part of the pattern, I think, that I hadn't quite grown out of, not recognising that this man was not good, and ended up having to start all over again. And I went back to nursing course and actually loved doing nursing, and that's what I did, and then evolved into teaching. I went and studied and did degrees and went into teaching, which I loved. But then that was when I developed cancer while I was teaching at Camborne and Falmouth Marine School. And I remember thinking, I'm going to make some choices in my life now and do what I really want to do and really enjoy doing. So I stopped teaching for a while because it is very, very hard. Lots of preparation, lots of, crowd control with 16 to 19-year-olds and things like that. So I did a little bit of nursing locally here in King Charles Court, which I've absolutely loved, and which is a much maligned in the media place. It's actually, my mum's there now. My mum, who I really still look after, take care of. She's in King Charles Court having great care. She's got dementia, and they're looking after her perfectly, and I really get angry every time I see anything negative said about it. It's a wonderful place, but hey ho. That was my choice time to think, what do I want to do, and nursing, part-time nursing was part of it. I was lucky enough to have met Roger Preston, my lovely husband. We've been together now for 11 years. Truly, truly blessed to have such a wonderful partner, a wonderful supporter behind me every step of the way and whatever I want to do.
Fantastic. I hope you're listening, Roger, and perhaps you'd dedicate this next record to him.
Oh, I'd love to my love.
And what piece are we going to listen to
Well,
now?
we're now on Strauss's 4 Last Songs, talking about September, if that's the one we've got in at the moment.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which track number you wanted, actually.
Well, all of them are beautiful, so it doesn't matter which one you've got on there.
And this is for Roger?
This is for Roger.
A very beautiful piece of music here on About You on the Source FM. I'm Simon Neild, and my special guest is Jeanette Preston. You've got so much to say that I'm sadly going to fade that track, because I think a lot of people will be very interested in what you've got to say. And we've been taking a very small snippet of your life and some incredible experiences you've been through, and hopefully a lot of people will gain a lot from hearing what you've had to talk about them. And I think now it's really important to bring pants back into focus, isn't it?
That would be great, because I always want to talk about pants.
Of course. Let's hear more about it. So you started it. From very small things.
Yeah, indeed.
You had that dream.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through the story.
Well, I was lucky enough to have done a project in nursing, assessing fitness for function in a hospital, Southampton Hospital, and had earned, for the first time in my life, quite a bit of money, and I'd put that away as a little pot. But I decided, when I wanted to make my dream come true, that I would perhaps need to set up a website and all the things that one would need to do to promote awareness of pants area cancer. So it was about 6,500, and I used that actually quite quickly in the expenses and things of setting pants going. And I realised I needed some money, and I tried going and asking a couple of people if they might support a local organisation, and pretty much they patted me on the head and said, there, dear, have your little dream, but off you go.
Yeah.
So I was so annoyed about the response. I thought, I'm never going to ask anybody for money ever again. And the rest, they say, is history, I think. The shop in 110 Killigrew Street, the old post office that had Miller & Co. had advertised it. It was for rental. I rang them up really to find out what, in the future, maybe I could have a shop. What would it cost me? And 3 weeks after ringing them up, I had the keys. And truly, I haven't stopped since then, because of the generosity of the local people. They have been amazing.
Now, just explain how the process works, because people who are listening and who are inspired by what you've been talking about in the last sort of 55 minutes, explain how the pants process works. If somebody wants to contribute to pants, what can they do? How can they get involved?
If they want to donate, that's easy. We've got 4 shops now. We've got the 2 up by Sainsbury's, Unit 4 and Unit 6, which take all it's just like a massive charity shop, and we've got a furniture shop. It's amazing, isn't it? Something for everybody, I think, in there. And then, of course, we've got what is now a pound shop. So every item in the original shop, the Killigrew post office, is £1. And then downtown, lovely posh pants shop, which is much more expensive. But we found that we'd been giving away stock to other people who were making money out of us, eBaying stuff and so on. We thought, why don't we make the money out of it? And thanks to the generosity of a local businessman who doesn't want to be named, but thank him, we were able to get down in town and start Posh Pants, which has really just been amazing. If people want to help, we need help in all sorts of ways. Practically, come and give us your stuff. We'll take anything, pretty much, and we can make use of even your oldest rags. We can recycle those and make money from them. But what you think might be worth throwing away, somebody else, I promise you, will value it and will want it, and we'll make some money from it. Yeah. We always need help in the shops. We always need volunteers who will come, even if they can. We love the students who'll come and do an hour and then can't come back for 3 weeks because of their assignments. We don't care. We love them sharing their amazing skills with us. We like any other people who can just come now and then, but we love people who will commit regularly, because it helps us to plan, and move ahead.
And it must be quite fascinating for people if people are like little squirrels, because your place is just awesome. It's just, I couldn't believe. I mean, I took stuff in there and thought, it's a bit iffy. I think I'll probably take this one to the tip afterwards. And they'll go, no, we'll have that.
Yes, absolutely.
I was like, am I really putting this in there? And thinking, will somebody have it? But of course, if it's even rubbish clothes, they're going to get recycled, and
they certainly are.
Everything goes somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything has a value. Interesting though, when we finish with it, we try and recycle it up at the Mabe dump, and you would not believe that they would actually like to charge us to come and bring their stuff.
Really?
But this is another issue for perhaps for another time. But they're not very helpful to us at all, unfortunately. No. They and the council together with CETA control that dump, and they do not want us there. It's very difficult. So what do we do with the stuff that we really have tried our best to sell and to recycle and so on? We're connected to ecology group at Redruth that will take some of our Ecologic, that takes some of the stuff that they will then recycle, because we don't want to throw anything away unless we absolutely have to. So we are trying to manage it all in an environmentally friendly way. Anyway, it's important to us.
Do you try with clothes and things? Do you try and have you got people coming along and trying to fix them up a bit?
Well, we would love that. It's really curious because we've got a couple of lovely sewing machines machines, and we would love people to come and do that. Maybe to come take it home and do it, because actually, if you go and sit down in the hub long enough, you're likely to freeze. It's very, very cold up there. But the people who work there, who love it, who are just so amazing, will wrap up warm and keep moving, and that way they can cope with it. But it is jolly cold. It's like being in a big aircraft hangar, isn't it? And it's hard to be warm, so you couldn't possibly sit down and mend there. But if people would like to help in any of those ways, I need posters. I need people who are quite happy to print stuff for me, to type for me. Any of the things that you think that, I've modelled myself on all the other charities. If you look at what Cancer Research UK are doing, I happen to be an ambassador for them, which I'm really proud to be part of. But if you look at all the other charities, they're all doing so many things. Well, we're trying to model ourselves on all of them and take from them all the things that they're doing.
That's amazing. Now tell us about your website.
www.pantsmatters.org.uk has a wealth of information about all the signs and symptoms, and there's lots to learn. People really don't understand how important the human papillomavirus is and what part it plays, particularly in cervical cancer, oral cancer, anal cancer. There's a lot goes on, especially with young people who are particularly at risk of it, and we're trying to promote the programme for the young women at school. They're trying to get them done. There are a lot of parents blocking it because they don't understand, but it truly will save their lives. All that info's on the website.
Fantastic. It's been absolutely inspirational talking to you about it. You've got all those lovely shops. So just a quick recap. You've got the place down by next to Sainsbury's.
Yeah, we've got two there. And we've also got Posh Pants down in Weber Street, and the lovely pound shop opposite the newsagent at the top of Killigrew. But also the great thing is we're making money from Posh Pants down in town, enough to sponsor Steve Winnan, who's a sports scientist, who is now working with people who have cancer to aid their recovery. The evidence says the more exercise you do, the more likely you are to not have recurrences of cancer. And he's currently at St Thomas's Hospital, sponsored by us, doing a special cancer rehab course. It's such an amazing move forward. It is. We are on and up all the time, and it is a dream coming true every day.
Jeanette, it's been absolutely inspirational talking to you. Thank you very much for coming on About You, and best of luck with Pants. I've been Simon Neild. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
I've paid my dues, time after time. I've done my sentence.